Hey, it's Mr. Native Survival. Let's go over some winter tree ID today. Alright, so I'm not too far off the road, so you're going to periodically hear some cars and things in the background. Now, this tree in front of me is a maple. Now, some of the characteristics that give this maple away are its gray bark. It's very gray. Slightly scaled, as you can see. Slightly scaly texture to it. And they have these light green growths on them. But maple seem to always have those growths with the gray bark. And when you start going up to their branches, you'll see that the branches are very graceful. See how these branches come off? Very smooth, pretty straight, all the way up. Okay, so this next tree in front of me, you'll notice that the bark is very bulky. And it's kind of squared off, very clumpy, very stout looking. Now as you move up, you'll notice underneath the outer bark are these red fissures, these red lines. That's underneath the bark. This is an oak tree. And it's darker than a maple tree, especially a young maple tree. This particular oak is a northern red. Now, oak trees have very erratic growth on their branches. If you look at the crown, you'll notice that the branches aren't very smooth and straight and graceful. They're very erratic. They take turns, there's different angles to them. They're very knobby. So you can see the crown of these two oaks right here, third oak right there. The wood has a lot of turns in it. It's very gangly. Seeing that patch right there, it's really just kind of everywhere. It's very unorganized in a way. A lot of turns in it, things like that. Okay, this tree in front of me, small sapling, is a pine tree. Happens to be the eastern white pine. You can tell it's a pine by the greenish brown bark. It likes to grow in these common nodes with gaps in the middle, as you can see right there. And of course, pine needles. Eastern white pines have 5 needles to a cluster. Okay, so here's a cluster. Four and 1 is 5 right there. So that's eastern white. In my area, we have pitch pine and red pine. Pitch pine, there's 3 in the bundle, and red pine have 2 in the bundle. Okay, so this tree in front of me that has a very dark green bark is beech. It's not a very prolific tree in my area. There's enough. And if you go close to the bark, you'll see orange spots. Here's another one standing right beside that one. This has a good cluster of orange on it right there. Now, beech is somewhat graceful as well, as you can see. Likes to grow nice and straight. This is a good tree for making pot hooks because they split off a lot and a lot of V's. A lot of Y's, a lot of V's. These trees always have a lot of splits in them, in the branches. And beech tend to hold on to their leaves longer than other trees. Alright, and this tree in front of me, this little sapling, you'll notice takes many, many turns. And really grows. It's right here. With tons of turns. It's like squiggles everywhere, all along the branches. You know, it's constantly just growing from side to side. It has tons of curves in it, as you can see. It just constantly is just wiggling, you know, back and forth. It's very snake-like. This particular tree is sassafras. It's very easy to pick out by its growth pattern, you know? It just grows very strange, as you can see. Now, another way to identify sassafras is by looking at the bark underneath. And just slightly rub this a little bit, take off the outer bark, and you'll notice that it's strikingly orange. Very orange. Okay, so this tree has died. This is a birch tree. The bark curls up, peels off easily. It has since turned into a birdhouse. The bark is very white in color. This has happened to be the gray birch. It's laying on the ground here. You can see it curls up, and the bark rips perpendicular to the growth of the tree. So it's going to want to pull this way. Kind of reddish brown underneath, grows in layers. You can see there's many layers of the bark there. Okay, so it's a quick half dozen, basically just identified from the bark, you know, and the growth patterns, which really helps with identification during winter, because you're not using the leaves or the flowers or anything like that. So like 6 different trees that grow in my area, which was maple, oak, pine, beech, sassafras, and birch. Appreciate your views, comments, and your support. See you guys in the next one. Take care.